My life be like, yeah.
Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm from 407 Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Glenn Cousins. Hey, Marhan.
All right, and today we are going to talk about why people suck so bad that try to street fight. And just to give you a background, I'm a former police officer, formerly in the city jail and then the county jail and then police officer, formerly in the county jail, current school resource officer. So that's where we are. We've had the opportunity to have a lot of confrontations with people with gigantic egos, gigantic street cred that you know, look like lions and end up like lambs or like kittens, whichever one you want to say. But why do the people suck so bad on the street? Why do people suck so bad when we encounter them? And
which one are you going to start with?
I was going to start with ego.
All right, start with that, and I'll go from there.
Okay, all right. We're going to start with ego. The biggest reason that people suck so bad on the street is the ego. So one is protecting their ego. They need to protect their ego. They have this inflated view that people see themselves. Oh man, I've been in 20 street fights, and now I got to make sure that my street cred stays credible. So they don't come train. They don't train because they don't want to lose. They don't ever want to lose, and so they'll never step foot on a mat or something like that where they have the opportunity and likelihood of losing. And when they come to a situation where they're in a jiu-jitsu class, combat judo, whatever, they are going to get on their back and in an uncomfortable position where they're unable to defend themselves, and they are going to have their ego put where we've all been, which is down at the bottom, okay? And if your ego can't take that, being down to the lowest of the low, then you're never going to continue, and you're never going to train, and you're never going to get better. So what were you saying?
So in their own minds, because their ego, they have a myth. So they have a myth on their street club or whatever they have. And this myth evolves because you say, because I'm the street guy, you say, oh man, you should have saw him, he knocked up this guy because he was drunk, and the other guy was drunk, and the other guy was high, whatever. So I get this myth that you start, and then he follows up on it. Pretty soon I have this myth of all these people who believe me, and then I start believing it. So that when I start believing it, then I meet one of you guys somewhere on the street or wherever, and then I'm like, oh, well, my myth is so good that I believe it. And so you have a combination of the ego where I can't lose, so, and now I believe I can't lose because I'm like 32-0 against drunk people, and littler people. They're always littler. I can't be because I'm a predator, because I'm a bad guy. That's why I'm doing that. So now I believe my own myth. I get placed in a situation where, you know, well, you're just a cop or you're just whatever you are. You don't look like you know how to do anything. You know, who are you? You know, I don't care. And then I get owned if I try to fist fight you or fight you in any way, shape, or form. So there's another reason why they suck on the streets, because they believe their own myth, as well as it's perpetuated by all their friends who aren't as tough guys as they talk.
Right.
I would say they are, but they're not.
And I would add on to that exactly, that they've not put the time in. They just haven't. They haven't. I mean, it takes reps. It takes diligence, it takes discipline, it takes courage, it takes confidence. I mean, it takes all these things, all these major steps, and that doesn't even
work ethic.
It doesn't even come until they put their butt on the mat and put the work in. And they're not willing to do that because they've never had to be. They've never pushed themselves beyond the myth.
Average street fight, how long?
Oh. If they were fighting me,
no, I'm talking they're fighting each other. They're building their 20-0 record. Okay, so let's just be generous and say 2 minutes. Okay, they've spent 2 minutes fighting a guy, and they're 20-0. Okay, yeah, right. Yeah. So they have 40 minutes total encountering somebody in a situation where the person is fully defending themselves.
Right.
20 minutes.
That's not like a class. That's an hour and a half.
Class. They're not even being coached by anybody who knows what they're doing. Right?
No,
So
cheered on at best.
So let me ask you, Hamar, in your career, how many times have you felt like, man, when you're engaging somebody physically, man, this guy may reverse me and may put me in a bad position to finish me?
0.
Glenn?
The very first time the guy rolled over on all fours, and I thought, he's trying to fool me into doing something. He's tricking me.
He's baiting me.
I thought that. I was like, what's he going to do? What kind of escape is he going to pull? Because I don't see an escape here. so I choked him out.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, it's 0 as well. Okay, so in one night, you're rolling live in the advanced belt class. How many times do you feel like you're compromised and that you may get finished?
Oh man, it could happen any second.
Exactly.
Anytime.
Exactly. So you put the time in on the mats, it's a whole different story than being one of these guys on the street that's, oh man, I'm street tough, I beat up my cousin and his 2 friends too. It's all baloney. But anyway, we just wanted to have did you have something else?
It's funny, like, when you really do get in a fight, you know if a person's really fought before. When you punch them once,
Yeah.
And
if they do this,
they do this thing, or they go,
or
and you're like,
and
you're like, okay, that guy knows what he's doing.
Because if he has been a lot of fights and you punch him, and then or you do something, and then you can tell he's like, okay, it started now.
Yeah.
Right.
He thought it started a minute ago.
Right.
It's now started. Right. He's like, oh, now it's on, because that's part of the ego kicking in and believing his own myth and stuff like that.
Exactly.
I want to add one more thing is that the people that think they know how to fight are willing to do it. There's a lot of good citizens, good people out there that don't want to fight. They don't want to fight, and that's perfectly fine. We all really enjoy it. That's the most exciting thing I enjoy. Win or lose, especially in here in the gym, it's a great thing to do. However, if you get to those guys out there, they believe they can fight, but they cannot. That's like me skateboarding. I really, 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 really like skateboarding. I think it is cool. It is the coolest thing ever.
Right.
I am not going to drop down into a bowl, ever, because I suck at it. I will get hurt doing that skilled sport. Yeah, no. So, yeah, Tony Hawk's in no fear of me being out there beating any of his records. So, yeah, just because a person's willing to fight, many people believe they associate that with ability.
Yeah.
And willingness is not.
Willingness and ability are.
When I was 12 years old, I was very willing to drive my dad's car. Very willing.
Had no ability.
No ability. Everyone was going to die on the streets, on the sidewalks, in the yards. Right. it was dangerous. Same thing. And we see this in all over the United States, where a guy will go train in his garage or wherever, with good intentions in mind, and they're like, I'm going to sign myself up for an MMA fight. And they'll go down to the local MMA gym, and next thing you know, they got 3 or 4 weeks of training at best. And it's like, again, that's a willing fight, not a skilled fight.
Right.
And so again, that's another reason that people suck. Like you were saying, they don't train.
No.
Because they're willing, and in some cases, you'll see it happen at the gyms where a person doesn't know what Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is, or even at the boxing gym or wherever. They don't know what it is, and it takes them maybe 6 months to a year to work up the courage just to get to the gym. And then when they get to the gym, then they think, okay, now because I've worked up all that courage, I'm ready to fight. And they think, well, I'm going to go join the next tournament, I'm going to go join a boxing match. And it's like, well, just because you've worked up the courage now still does not give you the ability. So,
All right, so cool. Our next video is going to be directly related to this. And Hamar doesn't even know what it is.
I have no idea.
But it is going to be a discussion on why thugs and street tough guys don't hang out in jiu-jitsu gyms. And it's going to be directly related to this, obviously.
I think there's a lot of the same things.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of the same things. However, there are some anecdotes and things that we have from back in the day. So, all right, stay tuned to that. Influence of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
like, subscribe, and share.
Yes. All right.
Hard work,